please bear with me while I do a whole other introduction. Welcome everybody to the Tom Colohue YouTube and Twitch channels, where today we are going to be watching WWE Smackdown in its entirety. This is our go-home show for Wargames version of WWE Survivor Series 2022, and right here we're going to share some exclusive news, we're going to share some exclusive updates, analysis, etc. as we go through what should be, hopefully, a good go-home show. We have a few matches of the World Cup to compete. I'd imagine Braun Strowman's going to be taking the win there. Makes the most sense after all. And beyond that, we're going to be heading into a match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus on one side and the Usos on the other. That promises to guarantee us what I feel at least will be a very good show. So be sure to hit the like button. If you're on Twitch, by all means say hi. Remember to keep that chat rate going and give me plenty to cover as we get into it. I can't have both headphones in, then I can't hear myself. Welcome everyone. Omega is the first one to say hi, just saying the name Tom Colohue. Kieran says yo Kieran. Omega also follows up with Tegan Knox because maybe he knows something that we don't know. Sean says hi Tom, and Hector says happy Friday Tom. Hope you and the family well. Please tell me he's in the video of Dom and E. By E do you mean Rhea? Yes. Rhea beating up Ray on Thanksgiving in his own home. I was laughing so hard. Yes, I did. And yes, that was good stuff. Damage controller in the ring as we speak. Bayley with a microphone. Nikki Cross, for some reason, squatting on the floor. And of course, Rhea Ripley in attendance as well. On the YouTube side, we have Stuart Ridley saying hi, Tom and chat. Connor says hi, Tom. And Traffic says good evening, Tom and chat. Welcome, everyone. These particular watch parties have been doing particularly well recently. I'm very, very happy with that, as you might imagine. But in addition to that, I did skip spoiler warning earlier on today. Certain lack of news to discuss, and as much as anything, I was just doing other things and decided to take a bit of that hour to myself. Now, the big rumor, as it were, for Damage Control, who are in the ring right now, is that the fifth member of Team Bianca will be Becky Lynch. That's the rumor at the moment. We also have it confirmed by the graphic at the bottom that Mia Yim will be known as Michin going forwards, which is a name change without being one. Alexa Bliss very focused on who's in the ring. Asuka dancing. Thomas Phipps, welcome, says hi Tom. Who do you see Bianca's teammate will be? Personally, I could see it being a swerve and somehow it not being announced so that it's a surprise for Wargames. I very much think it's going to be Becky. Makes perfect sense to me personally. And I believe it's about to be announced right now. And Megan says hi as well. Welcome Megan, how are you doing? Dramatic pause, and it's Becky Lynch. Now, there were rumours that the man was still injured, that the man would be injured for a long time, yet I can remember disputing those rumours and then watching her walk into a TV show waving both arms quite happily. Becky Lynch is here, Becky Lynch is back, and Becky Lynch will be on Team Bianca. Doesn't it just make sense? She also, being Becky Lynch, is fearless and immediately jumps into the ring and punches Bayley in the face. I'm not sure how long ago it was that I mentioned it, but Becky Lynch versus Bayley, eh? Who saw that one coming? Sean says, did you see anything about the report about Randy Orton? Yes, I did. I saw the report on Randy Orton that came from Fightful, and I can't confirm anything on that. I have not been looking into it as of yet, but I'll be doing that tomorrow. Big Becky chant as Becky deals with Bayley in the middle of the ring. Not much focus on anyone else at this point. Oh, Rhea Ripley stepping up. Now, Rhea Ripley has not been wrestling too much recently, but there is a clear intention to make her a bigger deal moving into WrestleMania as of now. She is, of course, acting independently from Judgment Day to be in this Wargames match as a way to push her independently as well. Bayley says, hello Tom. Some US markets have been preempted as the college football game is going over schedule, so updates appreciated. No worries. Bayley, they've opened SmackDown with Becky Lynch. Damage Control at this point are trying to essentially get Rhea to walk away. And they've done so successfully. I do like that Rhea Ripley is still wearing a purple scarf in her back pocket, representing the purple of Judgment Day. Simon says, not watching SmackDown tonight, just coming to say hello. Watching AW Rampage. Loving the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega being back. Have fun, Simon. Traffic says, missing the opener of SmackDown, they're finishing up a college football game on Fox right now. Well, that's dumb. They've literally opened with Becky Lynch. So, Fox not doing them a favour there. Stuart says, she's here. Carmelina says, on my Fox, I have to wait for the college football game to be done. Kieran says, that sucks for Randy. Seems he's going to be out for way longer than it seems. It does seem so, but I've been assured he will be returning. He's certainly on a mission to do so. Hector says, in reference to the Rhea and Dom video, one of the comments read, Angie watched Ray get his ass beaten. She's good of a wife as Ray is a father. It's a good comment. Simon says, your thoughts on the Elite CM Punk situation for Dynamite and Punk's camp being unhappy. Punk's camp is always unhappy. It's been unhappy forever. This week on SmackDown will be a tag team match. Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Officially, that tag team is now in play. They're advertising Bray Wyatt as well, trying to say whether or not he was the one who attacked LA Knight. I think we all know that one. They are literally opening the show with a hell of a lot of talk, just a hell of a lot of talk, about all of the matches planned. It's like they're trying to keep hold of you for some reason. Hello, Corey, how are you? Clyde says, hope all is well, Tom. Hope all join me in smashing the like button. Let's enjoy SmackDown together, and let's indeed. I believe that will be all we see of Becky Lynch tonight. Nice to see her back on SmackDown. It's been too long. By too long, I mean more than a week, which is simply not acceptable. We seem to be immediately moving into... We're immediately moving into Sheamus and Drew McIntyre versus the Usos. I feel like this is the opposite of how a show should go, personally. Thomas says, surely if they want to do Bayley versus Bianca again, then Damage Control have to win to give her momentum. And I see that happening. I definitely see that happening, personally. Damage Control winning at Wargames makes a lot of sense. And honestly, Bayley pinning Bianca makes sense as well. Megan says this is a good choice for the fifth person. I wholeheartedly agree. And Venom says, so happy it's Becky. Hector says, for the uninformed Tom, is England's manager as bad as Twitter makes a man out to be or not? I know nothing about him or the team. I wouldn't know as regards the World Cup at the moment because it's in Qatar and screw that noise. But other than that, I would say he's not bad. He gets the best that he possibly can out of the team that we have by playing a defensive, unpopular, unattractive style, which makes all of them perform to the best of their ability. Basically, I think he's exactly as good as we are, and people are assuming that England are so good that they should be better, when in reality, if they're better, it means they'll play more attractive football and lose a lot more games. Venom says, any update on Sasha and Tegan? Nope. Eric says, what channel did they move it to? I'm not sure they moved it at all. I think they just had an overrun. Code says, it all seems so rushed. This should be main event. I agree. This tag match should be the main event. Becky Lynch should be the end of the show. They should have built to it. Very strange. Bailey says, when in 2023 do you see Bianca turning heel? Not. Eric says, man, I got my hopes up about it being Liv when they said they needed to go to SmackDown. It was not going to be Liv Morgan. If Becky Lynch was available, she was going to be the one, let's be fair. Thomas says, how do you see the men's Wargame match ending? My Survivor Series predictions are in podcast form with Nick and Tom's Intercontinental Adventure. You can check out my predictions there with information as to how I see that match ending. Kieran says he let the worst player stay on for the full 90 minutes. Yep, because he wanted to defend the point. Told you. We could play different players. We could play more attractive football. We would lose more matches. That's my opinion on it. Connor says, I want Damage Control to win with Rhea pinning Bianca. Ooh, okay. Okay, so we could still lead towards Becky and Bayley, but we would then be moving towards Rhea versus Bianca for the Royal Rumble. Interesting. Venom says, when is Randy coming back, Tom? When he is fit to do so. Sean says, Road Dogg revealed on his podcast that Brock Lesnar didn't want to work with Kevin Owens, and Brock said he wasn't against facing Jinder, but knew he'd get a better match from AJ Styles. Road Dogg didn't give a reason for why Brock won't work with Kevin. It's not that he won't work with Kevin, it's just that he chose not to at that time. Brock Lesnar much prefers working with smaller guys. Always been the case. He doesn't want to work with Bobby Lashley historically. There has been a serious block on that, but he's been sort of forced into it and given some promises that I wouldn't necessarily be giving him myself. Jaden says, hey Tom. Hello Jaden, how you doing? Oh, thank you Connor. Thank you for the clarification. The tag match is not up next, it's Butch fighting next. That makes sense. Butch versus, who's he up against? Santos Escobar. Cool. It does make sense. There is supposed to be 3 World Cup matches, or at least 2. Maybe they'll do one in the pre-show for Survivor Series. I'm not sure. Venom says, what do you think is more likely, Becky versus Ronda or Bayley versus Becky? Bayley versus Becky for Mania. I don't see how they get to Becky versus Ronda at this point. Justin, welcome. Says Alexa or Asuka is turning Sunday is my prediction. I mean, there are certainly options. I think Mia Yim's more likely personally, but we'll see what we get. Kieran says he was correct. He got a better match from AJ Styles than he probably would have from KO. Disagree on that, especially considering he was saying that he would get a better match from AJ than Jinder. Butch versus Santos and Ricochet versus Braun. Thank you, Megan. Hector says, I agree, Tom. After watching a Netflix documentary on FIFA, I'm firmly behind your opinion, knowing that Qatar essentially paid for the bid, and also said Blatter is such a snake. Absolutely correct. I could not argue with a single word you just said. Kieran says, are they done with the Braun and Omos storyline? I could see Omos costing Braun the match, maybe. Yep, it was only supposed to be one big exhibition match. To my knowledge, we've all moved on, and Omos is going to sort of vanish. Traffic says, all I kept seeing was if England won, we got to call it football finally, but if America won, England has to call it soccer, then they tied. The debate still goes on. It is called football. We all know that. Megan says, it's what I do. I know things and bring sarcasm. Clearly you don't drink enough wine. Traffic said, this is weird. They're starting SmackDown from the start after the football game, so it's now 11 minutes behind. Well, this is not so much of a watch-along anymore then, is it? That's going to be awkward. If people want to just sort of mute me, I get it. Like, don't turn me off. Don't turn me off. But by all means, mute me. Sean says, I don't know why everyone wants Alexa to turn. What's wrong with her current character now? Also, it's possible Bray is targeting her. People want Alexa to go backwards. A lot of people want Alexa to go backwards. In many ways, Alexa herself wants Alexa to go backwards. Venom says, just ordered my Becky side plates and t-shirt now. Hope it hurries up and gets here. I can't imagine it'll be there for Survivor Series or Wargames, but give it time. Thomas says, would you rather see Cody, Sammy or Jay beating Roman for the title? Sammy, no question. No question whatsoever. There's still a strong possibility of Cody versus Seth for WrestleMania. That is the storyline that was planned at least immediately after Hell in a Cell. I remember mentioning it then. And that's the last I've heard in it. Eric says, here's my problem. I know you said they're still rebuilding Liv, but why was she able... Oh, pardon me. But why were they able to rebuild Austin Theory so quickly but not Liv? Pardon me. They have not finished rebuilding Austin Theory. They've only just started. So, they haven't, basically. Gotcha, Megan. Kieran says maybe they'll skip the adverts. I found that unlikely. After all, that's where they get their money from. Can I just say, Legado del Fantasma just... There is something special about their presentation. Just something very special about their presentation. The individuality, the style... Even in many ways, the quite sharp lines that you get that Zelina Vega is playing very well to. Fair, Connor. I mean, your name is FIFA Connor. What can I say? I mean, you live in a cupboard. What else can you possibly do? Jaden says, did they say who's going to be the 5th member? Yes, Becky Lynch. Venom says, I thought they would save the reveal for the end. How come there wasn't a spoiler warning, Tom? I didn't want to do one today. I didn't have particular news to share, and I had other things to do, basically. So, if there's not enough information to put out a spoiler warning, if there's nothing to spoil, why would there be a warning? So I decided not to go with it. If you're on the Discord, you would have got advance notice on that one as well. There doesn't seem much point letting people know on Twitter anymore when Twitter doesn't publicise my tweets. I've got about 1/10 of the views that I used to get on Twitter. Just literally, since the takeover, it's been destroyed. Because I haven't paid for a blue tick, which even if I wanted to, I couldn't, my tweets get buried, and that's all it is. Hector says, I have a sneaky feeling that tonight may not go any better than last week for Mr. LA Knight. No, I do feel that the storyline with Bray Wyatt is very clear at this point. Bailey says if they don't skip the adverts or speed things up, then they risk getting cut off by the local Fox station at 10 PM EST. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'll be interested to see if they maybe cut out a segment with a match or something. Like, for example, all the entrances there. Zelina Vega is on commentary and she's already mentioning the bloodline. That's a very bold statement. Maybe know your limitations there. Connor says, exactly, I'm just lucky I have a TV in the cupboard. I appreciate you putting one in here. Look, let never be said that I don't look after you. Also, to be fair, you kind of paid for it yourself. Thomas says, what match of Survivor Series do you see being match of the night? The women's Wargames match. That's going to be the spot fest, as it were. Venom says, I got to ask, do you reckon Sasha's returns at least close or a while of yet? I do not know when Sasha Banks is going to return, if she is going to return. Megan says, I've signed up for Hive. A lot of people over there are hoping to get to the desktop version soon, which will make a real dent in Twitter, especially this planned tier system coming to the check marks. Indeed. I, as many of you know, I'm going to be moving full-time to YouTube. So if you're a subscriber here, I'll be using the community page a lot more. You can check out what I'll be doing there and comment and engage in that regard. That seems the easiest way for me personally, and that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm thinking of going forwards. Seems to make the most sense, you know. Butch versus Butch versus Santos Escobar should be a hell of a match. It certainly has the potential to be so. It's been a bit broken down so far, a bit stuttered. Hopefully it does pick up soon. Zelina Vega just looks confused by what's happened there. I don't know if Santos got his cue wrong and he was trying to get to a commercial break, but that certainly wasn't the moment. Ooh, very rough landing for Butch. Very rough landing. Now we're off to commercial break. That was a rough landing and a half. Poor guy. Venom says, did you say you're going full-time on YouTube? No, what I mean by that is I'm dropping off Twitter as best I can. And most of my content will be on YouTube for the foreseeable. I'm not able to go full-time as a job, but YouTube is now my, well, I can't say my sole content platform, but it's the area where I'll be putting most focus. There doesn't seem to be any value in actually trying on Twitter anymore, which is a shame because it helped me launch these channels, but we are where we are. Thomas says, do you think by Zelina mentioning Bloodline could mean that we could bring Naomi back to face Zelina? No, I just think she's trying to get people talking. I don't think there's any intention to actually put them together. That just would not work for me at this stage. Wrestler Fan says, will we see Bray Wyatt tomorrow at Survivor Series? Probably yes. Bray Wyatt is, well, the whole plan is to have him on TV every single week. If they can have him on extra, they certainly will. So expect a lot of advertisement of every segment involving Bray Wyatt. Venom says, can't wait till you do go full-time. We're way off that yet, Venom, way off that. Certainly there's a lot of people here who've been very, very generous, a lot of people who've been channel members, a lot of people who've invested a lot of time and in many ways their money as well into my support, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of that. We are not even close to full-time at this point, but I do have my content plans and I'm very happy with the growth of the channel so far. Eric says, I'm sorry, I'm frustrated with the choice. My thing is, Liv has tagged with Bianca and Lexi on several occasions, plus USA is trying to bring back Liv and Rhea. Then Becky, last we saw, was in a blood feud. Becky was in a feud with Bianca, but she had already turned face at SummerSlam, and she turned face against Bayley. As we head into WrestleMania, Becky versus Bayley seems to make the most sense. We'll see what Liv gets, but at the moment, unfortunately, it doesn't look like too much. Sean says, do you see Seth retaining the triple threat? Yeah. Kieran says, do you think his first match comes sooner than you thought? It's hard to say. I do think they're going to wait for a while yet. But hey, LA Knight's right there. I just don't know if we're going to see him in ring anytime particularly soon. It just doesn't seem to work for me for the actual storyline. Maybe a lot of backhands, a lot of bitch slaps, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I can see that happening, certainly. But when it comes to Bray Wyatt, the best way to protect him, at the moment at least, is to keep him out of the ring as long as possible. That might sound a little cynical, and in many ways it is. But Bray Wyatt not well known for his in-ring exploits as of yet. If you're watching on YouTube, please do remember to hit that thumbs up. We have 11 likes and 26 viewers at the moment. If we're able to get all of those viewers to hit like, you'll see this viewership soar in no time. So please do remember to hit that thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't as well, and be sure to ask whatever questions you have. We are currently watching WWE Smackdown. Butch is taking on Santos Escobar. He does not look like he did well after that landing, I'll say that. Which is not great news. The winner of the World Cup will, of course, get an Intercontinental Championship opportunity. Someone just got hit very hard by a backflipping Butch. There's a lot happening right now in and around that table. I gotta be honest. We're a little bit more hardcore than I was expecting. Lots of diving to the outside. The match quality is certainly a lot higher than it used to be, I'll say that. Hector says, at first I thought it was done for someone like Karrion to interact with the Bloodline, but with Zelina mentioning them this week, it makes sense that the Bloodline is in everyone's crosshairs, considering they have all the gold. And indeed they are. That doesn't mean that everyone is in the Bloodline's crosshairs. I would say Legado del Fantasma are simply not big enough to warrant Roman Reigns' attention. Venom says, Becky versus Bayley will be good because we've never had it before, but how do we get the belt off Bianca? Who said we do? Who said we do? Justin said the women's division, in my opinion, is in desperate need of a draft. I agree with that. It is coming. It just won't be immediate. Hello, Peter. How are you? Traffic says, I love all the women in their Wargames match. Perfect balance of already well-known stars and potential on-the-rise stars. The return and subsequent use of Mia Yim certainly says a lot about the intentions going forwards. Venom says, as much as I miss Sasha, there's plenty of other wrestlers to enjoy as well. I'm very happy now Becky is back. Simon is asking for a prediction for the best of 7, the Elite versus Death Triangle, the Elite. Sean says there was an early Elimination Chamber poster released. Seth, Lashley, Liv, Drew, Kevin Owens, Bianca and Sami are on it. Yep. Then they will probably be involved. Though I will point out there was certainly a time when Becky Lynch was on a Money in the Bank poster and actually didn't feature in Money in the Bank. Ooh, okay. The Usos, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, well, the Bloodline, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre have already started scrapping. Butch has sent Fight Night, or not Fight Night, has sent the Brawling Brutes, I need to get in the habit of that now, to get involved and help Drew out. That, of course, puts Butch in a very precarious position and gives him an opportunity to lose a match that I expected he would. Kieran says, have we really not had Bayley versus Becky after all these years? Correct. Not on the main roster anyway. Not on the main roster. Peter says, all the better for seeing you on here live. Thank you, Peter. Welcome to the show. Sean says, Mia isn't Michin. She is back to Mia Yim on the WWE website. Not true, because when she was introduced, when they introduced everyone who came down to the ring via Team Bianca, she was introduced as Michin, Mia Yim. Hector says, alright Tom, with Becky back, who is a better entrance gear for Survivor Series, Seth or Becky? Both of them are faces now. Both of them are faces, so I'd say Bianca. Megan says, Bayley versus Becky have only gone one-on-one once on the main roster back in 2019. Thank you for the correction there, Megan. Good old stats. Santos Escobar is still selling the joint manipulation from Pete Dunne. What disappoints me, I think, more than anything else, is that we haven't seen the tag team of joint manipulation get back together. Matt Riddle is a bit lost at sea at the moment. A partnership with Butch would be very, very good, I feel. Interesting there from Wade Barrett, saying that this is what Legado do better than anyone, divide and conquer. But isn't that what every trio does? All of them. So it will be Santos Escobar versus either Braun Strowman or Ricochet. I can't imagine a world in which it's not Braun Strowman. Kieran says, I wonder why they've kept them away from each other for so long. They intentionally keep them apart on different brands so that they share the star power. Sean says, who do you think HBK announces for the Iron Survivor match? I'm not sure. The rules really don't particularly suggest anyone. So who knows? Maybe it'll be for the North American Championship. Venom says, what a surprise, Pete Dunne gets screwed. Well, to be fair, he wasn't really needed in the World Cup. He was just there to fill a spot. Pardon me. Just there to fill a spot. He is, of course, going to be in the Wargames match. So he can't really compete for a Intercontinental Championship at the event, can he? We're getting a recap of Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. It'll be brief. Justin says Becky versus Bayley, Bianca versus Ripley, and Ronda versus Shayna, all at Mania. I would happily take all of them. And Peter says, didn't know Cher was fighting on Bayley's side. Bitching. It's very close to just like bitching. Me Yim. You could do that in other ways as well. Me Yim. Bitching. It doesn't quite work when it's me a bitching you. Megan says, poor LA Knight. I'm sure you'd agree with me here, Megan. It's a fantastic spot for him to be in. Like, he's going to get beaten down a lot. But what he's shown is immense bravery, a bit of intelligence, and a hell of a lot of mic skills. So far, all very, very good. You can't really establish yourself any better than he's established himself so far. Absolutely not. Although, as I said at the time, I would certainly have just shaken Bray Wyatt's hand. Know your limits, you know? That was them. That was definitely them. Megan says, oh, it is, but he's going to be battered into next year. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. You're going to see more of him sort of on the floor looking up at you than any other angle. Kieran says, it is a surprising first feud because I think on the mic, LA Knight wins. Yeah. On the mic, he does win. That's why he's going to lose so firmly, because he can recover nice and quick. Eric says, where have the Street Profits been? They just haven't been booked for a little while. They've been working on other tag teams and other storylines, and the Street Profits haven't really been mentioned. Hector says, I don't watch AEW, but they announced that Bryan Danielson versus Dax Harwood will take place on Dynamite this week, and I'm intrigued. Certainly that's a match I feel a lot of people have been waiting a long time for. Simon is asking thoughts on Being the Elite. I've never watched it. Seems like a bit of a vanity project to me. I mean, it works for them, but still. Like I said, he's on TV, so I get my eye candy, so I'm good. He's on TV in a prominent position every week, whereas what's happened to Triple M? I haven't seen him for a while, I'll tell you that. Well, them. Megan says Dax versus Bryan is going to be mint. Mint. I had a delivery of food earlier on today. And you know how there's a whole generation who add a H to the word sound? So every time you say something like, oh, thanks, man, they're like, sound. And you're like, what? But the matches are good. Oh, I apparently disconnected briefly on the Twitter side for a moment. If I've dropped out briefly on you, I did drop out briefly on YouTube. Hopefully everyone stuck around. It looks like there was a brief connection issue there. I do apologise. Seems okay for the moment, but I definitely dropped out on the Twitch there. Sean says, with what Moxley said to Regal on Dynamite, do we get a match between them? Unlikely. William Regal does not wrestle at this point in time. Kieran, it wasn't just your side. It was Twitch, and as Peter confirms, it was YouTube as well. Fantastic. Thank you everyone who did stick around through that. It is a bit stormy weather at the moment. Wrestler Fan says, will there be any other matches added to Survivor Series? Yes. There will be an Intercontinental Championship match that has not yet been confirmed. Yeah, it's reading an error on the YouTube side. No sound on Twitch now. Fantastic. Thomas says connection issue is literally like 1 second. Okay, that's good. I am still getting the word error just popping up, but I still have people in here. Kieran, I'm not sure why there's no sound, because there's definitely sound on the YouTube side, and there's definitely sound being input at the moment. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but thank you for double checking there, Kieran. I appreciate that. And welcome to the YouTube side. Is anyone else experiencing sound issues on the Twitch side now? If so, let me know and I'll see what I can do about that. Now, YouTube is telling me that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's check my stream health tab. Stream status poor. Okay, Bailey says, the video is fuzzy on YouTube but okay on Twitch. Hopefully that fixes itself, because I sure as hell don't know how to fix it. How do we... Thank you, Thomas. All running fan for Thomas. That's good. I do see slight delay. No, Peter. I don't believe that I need a 50p. Let's see. Okay, so it's coming through okay for me on that side. I am going to persevere. If there are any other issues, please do let me know. Thanks, Peter. And thank you, guys. Venom says, do you think Bronson Reed and Chelsea Green return after War Games? If they do return, yes. Because they won't return at War Games. What's the point? Stuart says, everything's fine with my YouTube stream. Brilliant. Okay, good news. It looks like the Advantage match will still main event, which is good news. Bray Wyatt is not our draw segment tonight. Logically then, Ronda Rousey should be the draw segment. No, Boss Pedal, it seems like we're having a bit of an issue with the Twitch stream at this point in time, but you can't hear me, so there's not much point in me actually saying this. Thank you, Kieran, for the clarification. Let's see if that's sorted out. I've just made a little audio change. Hopefully it hasn't broken anything. We are getting... Oh no. My voice has gone very high pitched now. Okay, let's try that one more time. And see if this fixes it now. I'm just going to check and make sure it's got the right microphone. Yep, that should be right. Just Twitch audio. This is baffling. This is baffling. It must be the streaming software. It must be. Oh well. Thank you, Boss Pedal. I'll see you on YouTube. Bray Wyatt is making his entrance in the middle of the first hour. Certainly this is a draw segment, but promises a lot of very good stuff to come. Yeah, that's very strange, Kieran. YouTube has processing limits that cause some issues at times. And that's what it's saying. It's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, so it will lower the quality. Audio, I'm not sure about, but we are where we are. This is still a very, very good entrance. Bray is already in character. He's already showing some quite severe emotion on his face. Somebody really wants to see that green sign. They actually tried there to zoom in on it. Unsuccessfully, though. Venom says people will get annoyed if they keep delaying Bray's match for too long. You say that, but it depends on the goodwill allocated, and also depends on the quality of the match when it eventually does happen. Billy says Twitch is apparently locked up. Wonderful. Wonderful. I don't know what's happening there, but it's not good. Hector says, I need to find a foreign stream because the US Smackdown feed is so far behind it's upsetting. So they haven't caught up at all. Whereabouts is it, Hector? And have they skipped any commercial breaks? Or are they just going to get to the end of it and just give up? Megan says, gave up on Twitch, so hello YouTube. Hello, Megan. Welcome to the show. As you're here, I'm going to immediately make you a moderator because I know for you it's more of a ceremonial position, but it's a ceremonial position that you've full on deserved. Welcome, Horsey. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Bailey says, back now. Fantastic. Brilliant. And Thomas says, I love this theme music for Bray. So good. Certainly creates the atmosphere I feel he's going for. I'm very happy with it. Big cheers for Bray. There is still so much enthusiasm to have him back. Bailey says, the tag team just ended on the US feed. Tag team? I thought there was... You mean the singles match? Gotcha, Peter. Venom says, I wish Adam could get fired from AEW so he could go back to WWE. He's happy where he is and I think he'll stay there. Hello, Harry. How are you? Sean says, Jamie's reign is an official reign now and Tony Storm's is counted as an official reign since Thunder Rosa relinquished the title. Well, at least they've cleaned up their act a little bit on that one and made it make more sense. Strong words from Bray Wyatt. He's repulsed by what he is. Horsey says, Meltzer keeps banging on about Punk and WWE 2023. Surely not. I don't see it. I think someone's talking to Dave. Traffic says, Bray's on. Fine, I'll turn on a stream to catch up. And Megan says, the recap of the Bray stuff has just started in US Fiend, or at least the one Get the Tables is watching. I don't know what to tell you. I'm up to Bray's in the ring. He's talking. Venom says, if CM Punk comes back, I think Bray versus Punk would be money. I don't think CM Punk or Bray Wyatt would actually want to work with each other. I don't think they'd be willing to trust each other. You do, Megan. You're a moderator. You can't be in a channel with me and not be a mod. That's just not what works. That does not work that way. Sean says, I don't have Smackdown on for me yet. It's recapping a college football rivalry. Wow. I mean, Fox have screwed that one up, haven't they? Thank you very much for subscribing, Harry. I do appreciate it. We do Spoiler Warning, which is our Monday and Friday news show, but also, of course, we do Smackdown Watch Along every single week, and we will be hosting a watch party for Survivor Series tomorrow night. You may want to check out. Megan says, I'm on Bray as well with good old BT Sport and all the Black Friday ads. The same is also true in reverse of my channel. Oh, I appreciate that, Megan. As I say, I don't expect you to do anything with it. It's just honorary position of well-earned respect. Bailey says, does anyone at this point want to work as CM Punk? Yes, but not many people. Hello, Connor. Connor has donated 5 memberships to the YouTube channel. Another selection of gift subs. Thank you, Connor. I very much appreciate it. And they've immediately started getting picked up. Traffic, Thomas Phipps, Simon, Kieran and Megan have all immediately received those gifted memberships. Thank you as always for your generosity, Connor. I genuinely don't think I'd be able to pay my electric bills without you at times. So you're always welcome in my cupboard is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, sir. So the idea seems to be that Bray Wyatt's trying to run from his past, whereas Uncle Howdy is trying to take him back to who he was. Bray Wyatt seems like he needs a bit of a rescue. We've gone straight to the back, and LA Knight, who is clearly still injured of some sort. I like that brief pause from LA Knight where he tries to be nice. Venom says, confused on whether Bobby and Seth are faces or heels. They're currently still establishing it. They're tweeners, pardon me, at the moment. Carmelina said, did you notice that Sammy was not in the brawl? I did not, actually. I did not. Harry says, I heard The Undertaker will be at Survivor Series. Why? Why would that happen? I can't think of any reason that would happen. Connor says, it's all good. Everyone don't need to thank me, and Tommy, your cupboard is very nice. I'm honoured to be in it. I know people don't need to thank you, Connor, but I do appreciate it when people do thank you. You've done them a favour there. You've done them a world of good, you know? Be very nice. And sometimes that's a very good thing to be. And you continue to be so. As I say, you're probably my primary funder on this channel at this point. At this point, I should be offering you stock options. Hit Row are coming down to the ring. Logically, if Bray Wyatt's in the middle of the first hour, Ronda Rousey will be the draw segment. That, or they've got a big surprise, in which case it would be awkward because most of you are way behind me, so I'd feel bad for spoiling it. Looks like we're heading into a tag match. It's Hit Row with B-Fab rather than Hit Row. Logically, the other two members of Legado will be involved here. The only thing that really makes sense to me. Oh no, Viking Raiders. Okay. I forgot about them entirely. Sean says, did Brock want to work with CM Punk? Yeah. He was confident to get a good match out of him, and he did. He absolutely did. Thomas says, is Uncle Howdy trying to drag Bray down to the dark place within his mind? Yes. Yes, he is. That's very much the case. He's just trying to... He's trying to return Bray to who he was, whereas Uncle Harp will be trying to bring him forward into what he is. Venom says, Roman wasn't in the brawl either, but that doesn't surprise me. No, nor I. They are advertising Christmas t-shirts, and my God, they're bad. They are not good at all. Sama says, any WrestleMania planned matches for Sasha, Charlotte, and Naomi upon their returns possibly soon? To thank you, Tom. Charlotte is the only one who is guaranteed to return, so no. Venom says, do you think Roman is on SmackDown tonight? I'd be surprised if he wasn't, but I think they're holding him until later on during the actual main event. I'd be surprised if he wasn't because it's a go-home for Wargames. And honestly, after this, I don't think we're really going to see him until the end of the year. Well, yes, Conrad, I did mention stocks. Traffic says there was some code there at the end when the Bray Wyatt logo popped up. Yep, and thankfully, all the sleuths will be in action trying to find that right now on Twitter. Also, we have Megan, so when I say sleuth, she's obviously the first call. We have so many of you who will immediately know. Immediately know. We are currently at 27 viewers and only the 15 likes. Please remember to hit that thumbs up. But I do want to say one more thank you to Connor, because literally I can see the point at which you've put those memberships in, and I can see the viewership changing because of it. I can see the view count going up because of it. I can see the chat rate going up because of it. This is another one of those things. You are not only funding the channel, you are letting YouTube know that this is a place to be. So YouTube is sending more people here. And this is how we grow. So many favours, mate. So many favours. Peter says my flipping earbuds are useless. Hector says I think Connor needs some computer upgrades for all his generosity. I mean, I got him a TV. What more do you want? You're just going to let people live in luxury. Simon says Sasha is faved to win the Women's Royal Rumble in the US. Apparently 8-1 with my Sky Bet account in the UK. Cool. Doesn't mean she'll come back. Bailey says I would think most, if not all, the talent for Survivor Series is at this event. Providence is a 1-hour drive from the site of tomorrow's event. Yep, absolutely, and so they should. I do want to point out, Simon, that quite often Kenny Omega is one of the favourites to win the Royal Rumble. I remember to win the Men's Royal Rumble was Jay White. It's not the slam dunk you think it is, what I'm trying to say that. Now, as it's Hit Row versus the Viking Raiders, I think we can be very, very confident about what's about to happen. Hit Row about to get destroyed by the Viking Raiders. B-Fab's there to get beaten up by Sarah Logan. And that's pretty much exactly what I expect to see happen. Damn it. Thank you for the heads up, Peter. I don't know what's going on. The internet's not stalling. It's very much the software that's causing problems right now. Thanks, everyone. Venom says, isn't Sasha still under contract? I thought negotiations were going well. They are, but that's not a guarantee. Okay? We all need to get used to the idea that it's not guaranteed. We need to calm down. Like, I'm confident personally, but I'm not going to sit here and say when she comes back, because it's not guaranteed. We don't deal in clickbait here. We don't deal in guesswork. Wow. Horsey says, got told today I'm a bad YouTuber and ruined my own channel. Aren't people nice in this YouTube world? I feel very lucky to have the people that I have, I tell you that. I feel very lucky in that regard. I count you as one of those people, Horsey, that I'm very lucky to have. Because I know there's a lot of much worse people here in the YouTube world. Peter's blaming Connor for ruining my stream. Connor, how dare you? Do we need to have words? Connor says, a month till Christmas. I love this time of year. Literally, just a month. Most of my present buying has been done now, which I'm very, very happy about. Naturally, my family is a little bit bigger this time of year. Well, this year, I should say. So, I'm very, very excited to spend a bit more money than I usually do on people who I know are going to be more appreciative. I was very interested to see if Sarah Logan changed her attire or changed her aesthetic. Apparently her name is now just Valhalla. So she is where they go when they die. The name the gods have given her. This is not good. Like, this is Triple H. Triple H is making this happen. Triple H has chosen this. I think the honeymoon period may be starting to finish up. Sean says Bron Breakker beats Apollo Crews. Also, did you see Dijak return? Yes, I did. He looks... I've seen that exact moment on NXT far too many times for it to be impactful at this point. Just far too many times. Where the match is over, they get the little bug in the corner, and then, oh no, someone's here. Who is that? Do you think it's... And that's all I've got. Bailey says maybe they can skip the Viking Raiders for the US audience. Megan says, when it comes to news about wrestling deals, I take the Assassin's Creed approach. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. So I wait until I see someone on screen before 100% believing everything, which I do think is the right way to do it. Okay, warning, the current video is interlaced, but interlaced video is not supported. What's interlaced mean? What does that even mean? And now you're telling me you have a good connection. What is happening? The fact is, it's not an internet issue. It's very much the software, but if I stop the software, the entire thing shuts down. Like the entire thing. So, what the hell? Anyway, thank you very much, Horsey, for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. I might put that directly onto the electric. That would actually make quite a lot of sense. Hector says, to play devil's advocate, I hope we don't see Sasha for a while, because it's becoming too much sometimes, and there's more than just Sasha Banks in today's wrestling landscape. I think the fact that the women's division has actually done pretty well, regardless of whether she's there or not, is a pretty good sign for the women's division going forwards. Pete says, all for the kids, but it's great. Okay, Tom, does that mean I get a present? We do sometimes think of this as a family. What can I say? A family. Megan said she's slightly underappreciated Assassin's Creed game. Well, that's the name the gods gave her. Venom says, surely they're saving Charlotte for the Rumble. I don't see why else to delay it. They want to save good returns for the Rumble. Well, if so, I'd imagine they're not getting as many returns as they were expecting. She's pretty infamous in the Royal Rumble and a very good thing. Venom says, I'm so pissed they changed Johnny's theme. And Kieran says, his new look reminds me of a character from a game or movie. I just can't think of it. I know I've seen it before. Connor says, Dijak looks like the guy you would make when you're 8 on WWE games to look cool. The Aviators were a choice. They were a choice. Simon, it doesn't matter where Wargames was. If they have not come to a decision and an agreement, it doesn't matter. Possibly Peter. Though my Electra basically runs on Pikachu power. I believe it's officially Pika power. So yeah, that was not a long match at all. The Viking Raiders have already finished the job. Valhalla struggled to get into the ring with her horns, which is not something I was expecting to say today. Ashanti the Adonis, unfortunately, taking the loss here. He is a designated loser of the team, by the by. Ashanti is there to take the losses. It is believed that Top Dollar is the star of the team, which means he'll be protected going forwards. Sometimes it still feels like Vince is It really does. And the Viking Raiders are definitely an example of that. Bailey says the growth of the women's division is getting better. After all, 3 of the 4 horsewomen have been out since SummerSlam. Yes, they have. We are now down to 2. Just to 2. Slowly but surely we're getting there. Yes, Austin, no spoiler warning today. We didn't have a show. SBM says random 4, LA Knight and The Miz would be a cool tag team. Yes, they would. That has been mentioned before, and I do think it's a good idea. It does typecast The Miz ever so slightly, but I ain't complaining about it. Michael Cole is laying into Dominic Mysterio. He's about to burst a blood vessel, Michael Cole. Not often you see that. I mean, he went in on it there. Okay, one thing I immediately like about this clip, by the way, is that as Ray opens the door, he's still settling into his mask, making it clear that he wasn't wearing it until then. I don't understand why Rhea Ripley wasn't welcome. That's his son's girlfriend. Maybe. I don't know. Hard to be sure. Also, respect to Dominic there, the way he holds Ray's head. He's keeping the mask on. A lot of respect there. A lot of respect. I did not expect to like Dominic as a heel as much as I am. Also like that they hid Ray's face in the portrait as well. A lot of respect being shown. Not like the WCW days when they made him take the mask off. The draw segment is Braun, which means the middle of the second hour is going to be Ronda. Of course the draw segment is Braun. I should have known that one. Should have known that one. Basics. Venom says, wait, Rhea is now Dominic's girlfriend. First she's a mommy, now she's a girlfriend. Well, you see, Venom, and I didn't think I'd need to be the one to take this to you. Sometimes people call themselves mommy as a kink. The more you know. As Simon says, Sasha's in good contract talks with the WWE. Is coming back. She's been pro wrestling training in Mexico for 5 weeks. I watched for Liv, but Triple H can't even live in the show anymore, so why watch the WWE? Is that a report there, Simon? Because I don't believe you're known for them. Traffic says Dom has been killing it. And by the way, can we appreciate him calling Rhea Mami in front of his mom? Yes, we can. We absolutely can. There is commitment to the character, and then there's everything that Dominic Mysterio is doing right now. He absolutely understands the assignment, and I'm loving every second of it. Kieran says, when your girlfriend looks like Rhea, she's a mommy. She's whatever the hell she wants to be called, let's be honest. She says the word, and you say yes, please. Connor says, we are either getting Braun or Ray versus Santos. Yes. Or Ricochet versus Santos. Ricochet versus Santos would be a hell of a match. Would be a very NXT match. Would be a very Triple H match. Whereas Braun versus Santos would be a very Vince McMahon match. Let's see what they get, shall we? Well, Venom. When a man and a woman love each other very, very much, sometimes they decide to kiss off camera. The more you know. Justin says, who eats a pin in both Wargames matches tomorrow? I'm saying Asuka and Sammy. I am also going with Sammy. Personally, I think Kevin Owens likely to pin him with a stunner. As regards the other side, the women's match, I've got Bianca taking the pin there. I very much think Bianca is more in danger now than she has been for quite a long time. And honestly, I'm good for it. I think it's a very good spot for her to be in, a very happy place for her. As we're about halfway through SmackDown, and we're just coming up to our last commercial break of the hour, I do want to say another quick thank you to Horsey for his very generous donation, and to Connor as well for also a very generous donation of 5 gifted channel memberships. Now, if you have been gifted a channel membership, please do remember that we do have some members only videos available. We started with a couple of podcasts. We also have a video about the Bray Wyatt news that I was able to break when Bray Wyatt signed his new contract. That is something that was first reported here on the Tom Colohue channel. We did a random live show on a Wednesday, way before we got to a point of any White Rabbits, and discussed the fact that Bray Wyatt would be returning. I break down exactly when I knew what, exactly how many sources we use, and what I got from each source, to basically explain how I do things here. Hopefully that's of interest to you. If not, by all means just ignore me forever. I mean, I'll be sad, but it'll be okay. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Whoa, 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 Connor. We're not that sort of stream, mate. I don't know what sort of streams you're watching, but we're not that sort of stream. Like, what people do to comfort their own home, even kissing, it's their own business. Simon says, Ronaldo's next team. No idea. Hopefully none. He's not worth the money. Kieran says they like keeping it in the family, though. First Ray's daughter and Buddy Murphy, and Ray and Buddy the actual couple, and now Dom and Rhea. Maybe that's how they bring Buddy Murphy back. He goes up against Dominic to defend the Mysterio family, which is just very, very awkward for everyone involved. I'd be behind it. Connor, we can't talk about holding hand. That is chaste. You're not allowed to talk about hands or wrists. You definitely can't show your ankles. You got to remember, guys, we live in the time when Qatar is celebrated for a World Cup. We live in a time when Saudi Arabia is the answer to all of tourism. Apparently we're the ones doing it right in respecting women. I got that wrong. I was supposed to say we're the ones doing it wrong, but what can I say? It slipped out. Justin says, us in the United States are like 10 minutes behind because the real football game ran over. In your version of football, how much time do they spend actually with the ball at their feet? Not that long, is it? Kieran says, girlfriend on a pole match. Why is everything going to be a pole? Girlfriend or forklift? Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. Hector says, sorry if someone has mentioned, but I called the number in the Uncle Howdy vignette, and it's essentially the psychiatrist with his evaluation of Bray, essentially saying he's a danger to society if someone approaches him, and the call ends. Well, Hector, you're a dedicated fan right there. Bailey says, Dom versus Buddy for a Rhea on a very sturdy pole match. I told you, forklift. Maybe we'll allude to the old match between Owen Hart and Triple H when China was in a shark cage. Rhea Ripley in a shark cage match. You can see it, can't you? You can see it. Simon, Liv has been featured pretty regularly for the last few weeks. Okay? Calm down. Venom says, Tom, do you go live for the kickoff show? I don't watch it, but just wondering. Yes, I do. I will be live for the entire kickoff show tomorrow for Survivor Series. Simon, Ronaldo is not worth the money. It's that simple. Ugh. Michael Cole just said, bad news in the Soccer World Cup. Is it so hard to just say the World Cup? Right, so we have 2 American flags. So it's just America everywhere. Justin says, if Alexa can get past tonight and tomorrow with no Bray crap, then I think she's safe from being put with him. I don't think there's any intention of putting the two of them together. I just want to be clear on that one. I don't think there's any intention to do so. I think Bray's looking for some revenge. Michael Cole just called out Braun Strowman for his comments on Twitter. I do feel there's a punishment coming, but losing the Ricochet might not be it. Megan says American football is padded rugby with too many adverts, which is absolutely true. I've watched Super Bowls, a lot of ads. And Kieran says Wade Barrett should have attacked him after that. A feud all around the name for football. He should. Wade Barrett should represent himself proper. Proper. You know, proper. Sean says, think there will be a match on the kickoff show? Possibly. Possibly. It depends what the plan is. After all, if we have the final of the World Cup tonight, then we have the tag team match with Ronda and Shayna versus Shotzi and Raquel. We have the tag team match between Sheamus and McIntyre versus the Usos. And then we'll have the final between probably Braun and Santos. It's a lot of matches. I don't think it's impossible, certainly, but it's a lot of matches. They keep showing the trophy. And can I just say, the trophy's bigger than Ricochet. Also, he made the mistake of taking his eye off Braun Strowman there, which is just dumb. The pierced nipples are very distracting. I just want to point that one out. Just awkward. Simon, you have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, she hasn't been on for a couple of weeks. Maybe she's taking a break. Maybe she's taking a holiday. Maybe she hasn't been booked because they have plans for a rematch in the weeks after Wargames. Maybe they're just focused on Wargames. You need to calm down. I'm not going to just let you go on rants. That's not going to happen. I'm going to be real clear. I'm not just going to let you go on rants. You don't know what you're talking about. Venom says, when Strowman wins the cup, because at this point it's obvious, do you think he wins the IC belt from Volta? No, I do not. I think Gunther maintains that championship for a while yet. So honestly, I do think, and it'll be pretty well booked, I feel, Braun Strowman takes the loss. Justin says, women's War Games kicking off tomorrow is what I'm assuming. Me too. That's exactly what I expect as well. Men's to main event. Makes the most sense. Stuart says, did they not say earlier the final was next week? Sure, I heard Cole say that. If that's the case, then I guess they won't be adding the match to Survivor Series. The original plan was to add an Intercontinental Championship match to Survivor Series. But if they haven't finished the World Cup, then I guess not. Gunther is heading out to distract Braun Strowman, which is interesting. Especially considering last week Gunther was running away from Braun Strowman. All of Imperium now providing distraction. Opportunity for Ricochet. Roll up pin, shoulders not down, he's won. Flippy floppers. That's what you get, bro. That's what you get. Now I'm going to be real blunt on this one, guys. Braun Strowman should not have tweeted what he did. Triple H clearly not happy with him. And Triple H making sure he knows about it. Dominic says, hi Tom. Hi Dominic, how you doing? Is there going to be any pay-per-view after Survivor Series? Is Roman defending both titles at the Royal Rumble? Thank you. Roman Reigns is likely to defend both championships at the Royal Rumble. That will be the next pay-per-view after Survivor Series. There will not be another pay-per-view this year. Ricochet is running back into the ring to essentially protect Braun Strowman and fight off Imperium. He will take a beating for that, but it'll allow Braun to get up again very shortly. The New Day, ideally, would be getting involved now. They, after all, Strowman helped them out last week. Nope, no help. No help at all. Peter says, Pierce Nipples, that's a new wrestler. Well, no, I mean, when we have the world of gobbledygooker, there's always going to be one that's got a bit of a weird name. And Pierce Nipples is a former world champion, as you know. Venom says, if Strowman loses, he's going to look weak, especially with Volta running from him. True, Gunther once again running away here. Hector says, I'm glad they replayed the Ray Dom thing. It reminds of how well Ray sells everything, even in his own home. Kieran says, as regards Survivor Series, there's only 5 matches so far. I expect 1 more. Megan says, Gunther acting scared and running from Braun was daft AF. I could not agree more. Could not agree more. Definitely didn't help the situation. Braun is now going to have to show respect to a Flippy Flopper and say sorry. He has already said sorry to the locker room. Thomas says, is it true that the plan is for Drew to be the one to defeat Gunther at WrestleMania? That's what I see happening, yes. I know that someone has put out a report that it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania. It's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. I'm confident we're looking at Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Connor's pretty happy with the result there. Braun very much respecting the flippy flopper, and Ricochet is well known for it. Bam said that's one way to protect both of them. Connor says, what did Braun tweet? I must have missed it. Massive disrespect to the high flyers after his match of Omos. Kieran says, Ricochet versus Santos is going to be fire though. I could not agree more. You just know that's going to be great fun. Justin is asking for a prediction for entry order tomorrow in the women's Wargames. He's going with Bianca, Mia, Asuka, Alexa and Becky for the faces. He is going Rhea, Io, Dakota, Cross and Bayley. Okay, this is going to be a difficult one. I can see Bianca going in first. And I can see Nikki Cross going in first on the other side. Then Asuka, then Rhea. Then Mia, then Io. Yeah. Then Bianca and Bayley. Yep. Then Becky and Bayley. Becky will definitely go in last. Jey Uso is hovering and listening to a conversation between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is the beginning of new tag team champions. Megan says Triple H for sure is not happy with Braun's comments online, given how this has played out. Seems very, very clear, yes. Cole Mario says, do you think there's a chance Sasha will attack the winner of Ronda's match tomorrow night? Nope. Simon says, Ricochet beat Braun. Yeah. Braun's getting punished. And Thomas says, did you see any surprise returns happening at Survivor Series? Nope, I think we've seen their surprise return happening tonight. I do feel that what Kevin Owens is doing here is going to be what results in Jey Uso getting speared by Roman Reigns tomorrow at Wargames. Sammy's thinking about it, though. Sammy's thinking about it. He knows KO's his guy. They're, of course, just trying to show a little bit more suspicion now, and it's working. Resident Evil AMC says, what up, I'm back. Welcome back. Been a little while, mate. Megan says, for the heel, switch Io and Nikki for me. I do agree Becky and Bayley will be the last two in. Maybe even with Bayley trying to block the cage so Becky can't get out right away. That would make sense. When Becky does enter the match, I'd imagine she's only going to be in for a very short time. She's going to be very well protected. No, Simon. Braun does not deserve better. Braun deserves exactly what he gets. Kieran says, is this setting up for the tag team maybe? I do believe it is. I do believe it is time for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to get back together and challenge for those championships. Resident Evil AMC says, yes, I know I am back. Some cold flu, so getting better. Glad to hear you're getting better. Hector says, not only did Braun tweet some dumb stuff, not only got roasted by Mustafa Ali, but also lost a match. He probably should have won it. Sucks when there's consequences for your actions, doesn't it? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It really does. Gonna happen to a nicer guy. I don't think he'd have even been in the World Cup if not for his comments after Saudi Arabia. Like, I am confident of that. Peter, if that's what you want to do, that is absolutely something you can do. At the moment, I will continue to take a lot less than I have done in the past. That's all I'll say. But don't worry, when I feel I need to take action, I will. In the meantime, people can vent, but you've got to know when you've gone too far. Cole said, will Bray be a Survivor Series? Yep. Simon, I think the big issue is that You pick certain wrestlers, and then if they're not doing what you want them to do, it shuts your entire life down. I don't say this often, but I do feel you probably shouldn't watch wrestling at all if that's the case. You are far too attached to these people. I don't believe it's healthy. I don't believe it's healthy. I genuinely believe we're looking at an unhealthy obsession that is genuinely damaging your mental health. I think you should get away from it completely. That's my opinion on that. Like, it's genuinely concerning to me. In the meantime, though, Resident Evil, yes. You say this Sunday. Survivor Series, to my knowledge, is a Saturday this year. It is tomorrow. Tomorrow. If not, then I've set up my stream a little wrong. You might say, completely wrong. And hopefully I haven't done that, because that would be embarrassing for a pro wrestling streamer like myself. Hopefully I'm not going to embarrass myself, and it will all work out for the best. Hopefully. We have about 45 minutes left of SmackDown. At least 2 matches planned, both tag matches. A women's tag match featuring Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey on one side, and Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez on the other. That makes sense as our middle of the hour segment. And then, of course, we have Sheamus and Drew McIntyre taking on the Usos, which looks set to be our main event. If Roman is indeed there, which I think he should be, that will be when he makes his grand entrance. So, 45 minutes left. Megan says, I have to say, loving the switch to Saturday pay-per-view shows. Absolutely. Absolutely. Saturday shows is a very, very good thing. I get to have a lie-in all Sunday. It's great. I don't have to be up to the point where I'm going to sleep at 5 a.m. and I have to get up at 3 hours later at 8 o'clock to start work. It's amazing. It's great fun. And I feel a lot more awake and lively, you know? Now, tomorrow's going to be a lot of hours. It's going to be a lot of hours, but it'll be fun and it'll be worth it. Kieran says, I love the Saturday pay-per-views, but I also don't work Mondays now, so it makes no difference. I do, unfortunately. Fair enough, Kieran. Fair enough. Eric says, Tom, it looks like there's not going to be Liv for a while. Quite possibly. She may just be taking a bit of time off. She's not long been holding a championship, so a bit of a break might be a good thing. It allows someone like Shotzi to get an opportunity. And other people do need opportunities. Shayna Baszler's getting a pretty good one at the moment. Spider Boss says, hello Tom, do you think Triple H made Becky return tonight to avoid Boston fans booing Becky? No. If Boston fans want to boo, they'll boo. It's that simple. And if the intention is, oh, where's Sasha? Boo! Then it's going to happen regardless. Everyone's waiting for the next CM Punk chant. That's all they really want. Kayla Braxton interviewing Becky Lynch backstage. She's going a bit psychopath. It's nice. It's very nice. Surprised at the amount of pins in her hair. I know it's a weird thing to say, but that's a lot of pins. Sean says, who starts the men's Wargames match, do you think? Sami and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for me. Kieran, you're right. Liv Morgan did get murdered by Chucky. She's just obeying kayfabe. Stuart says, just noticed Asuka's face when Becky's music hit, even though she knew it was coming. Yeah. Well, to be fair, Becky surprised her before. Asuka, after all, did not know that Becky Lynch was pregnant when the announcement was made. I reported that one myself. Venom, unfortunately, there will only be Raw watch-alongs when I'm doing this full-time. I have to be doing this full-time to make it feasible, because I have to go to work on Mondays and on Tuesdays, so it just doesn't quite work, unfortunately. I'll be looking at after WrestleMania, for example. The whole title reign wasn't about Ronda Eric. There was a whole feud with Shayna Baszler in the middle of it, and a match with Lacey Evans as well, and those matches with Sonya Deville. Admittedly, it was largely about Ronda Rousey. It wasn't very well booked, but she did at least get a championship reign, and she will be back to that championship. Don't you worry. Yes, Kieran, I did hear about the CM Punk chants. However, because they're now not cheering for CM Punk, they need to find someone new to cheer for. The idea essentially is very much, how to describe this? Boo WWE. What can we hate them for? Spider Boss says, with Becky's return, what else can happen at the Women's Wargames match? A wrestling match. That's a fair comment, Simon. There is still a lot that Triple H is getting away with, even though sometimes it's booked like Vince. I do believe I've been talking about that all show so far. Traffic says, booing another wrestler just because it's not the wrestler you wanted or imagined would fit in a scenario better is so unfair to the wrestler getting the chance. Yep, never stopped him before though, did it? Have we considered the possibility that maybe they're just not very fair? Spider-Boss says, one of my friends said Peter Insider never miss. After Becky's return was spoiled by Peter Insider. Peter Insider did not report that Becky Lynch was returning. Fightful Select did. Fightful Select reported the return of Becky Lynch. Venom says, when you're full-time, will you do an NXT watch-along? Maybe. I find it unlikely, mostly on the basis that when I go full-time, I'll also be working a gaming channel. And a football channel. You see, that's the plan. When I'm earning enough from here, I'll start expanding to the other channels as well. I'll up the hours I do here, but I'll cap it at, say, 10 hours a week. A lot of planning goes into my shows. But I don't want to oversaturate either. So 10 hours a week here, 10 hours a week for a second channel, 10 hours a week for a third channel, 30 hours a week. If that could make me enough to make a living, I'd be a very happy boy. We're just getting a prolonged War Games moment here. They're going to get a lot of use after Kevin Owens moments from previous War Games matches. A lot of use after them. Kieran says, what games do you play besides Football Manager? I will be considering a few different options there. I have a load of videos that I'm editing together of The Last of Us Part 2, which will be going up on the gaming channel over the next few weeks. Beyond that, there's a few games I still very much want to play. For example, I've wanted to do a marathon stream of Final Fantasy IX's Chocobo Hot and Cold for a while, just doing that from start to finish. So that's something I'm considering as well. I think that could be fun. I would enjoy that. Maybe I'm being a little insane, but I'll take it, you know? Beyond that, I like Final Fantasy games. Maybe I'll play a bit of Mario Kart. We'll make it work. Spider-Boss says, all this wait to watch my favourite back in WWE has been way too long. Megan says, of course, in milking this, WWE will finally have War Games footage without the Undisputed Era in it. Yeah, that makes things awkward, doesn't it? Makes things awkward. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are attacking Shotzi and Raquel backstage ahead of their match. Looks like this match might not be going ahead with Raquel. I suspect Shotzi might need a new partner. Can I just say, the acting right there was brilliant. That little squeak at the end of pain, that was solid. Traffic says, loved Chocobo Hot and Cold, second best Final Fantasy minigame behind Triple Triad. As much as I would love to do a Triple Triad marathon stream, I don't think that quite works because you need to travel around places. Chocobo Hot and Cold, quick trip to the lagoon and so on and so forth. Should be an easy enough one. So certainly something that I think would be a lot of fun. Simon says, how long do you think Jamie Hayter, the AEW women's title run will last? Hard to say. AEW has been playing hot potato with that championship for a while. I'd imagine maybe 2 months on that basis. Spider-Boss says, I want to see the women's tag team titles soon. You actually already have. They were in the opening segment. Stuart suggests a new God of War is decent. Absolutely. Horizon Forbidden West is one I want to play. There's a few games I want to play. And I'd be playing the games live on stream, then editing them together for the gaming channel as well. Good call, Justin. I like that. Mario Party or Mario Kart with viewers could be fun. Absolutely. I briefly played with a couple of people, Ed, for example, and Corey. I briefly played. Oh God, what's it called? What's it actually called now? I forgot what it's called. The one with the beans. The one with the beans, the Battle Royale one. Oh, I've forgotten the name. Completely forgotten the name. But it was fun. Just apparently not enough fun to remember it. Awkward. Sean says this is the second time Kevin has been in Wargames. He was in the one with the Undisputed Era. Yep, they've shown footage of it, yep. Thank you very much, Mohammed Ali Shafi Official, for subscribing. I very much appreciate it. Please remember, if you're currently watching on YouTube, to hit the thumbs up button. Every thumbs up makes a massive difference. And subscribe if you haven't already. Spider-Boss says, do you think Rhea and Mia make it to the women's Wargames match? After all, they still can brawl before the women's Wargames match. Yeah, I reckon they make it. I do. Simon says, Mox versus MJF, are they a rematch? Probably, yeah. Kieran says, I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, don't have a PS5 yet, so waiting for it to come to PC. That would also be a thing. If I am at the point where I can go full time, I can upgrade my console, which would then mean even more beautiful graphics. Battleboss enjoyed Dominic Mysterio abusing Ray on Thanksgiving. Fall Guys, thank you, Traffic. Appreciate that. I did play that with some viewers, and it was a lot of fun. It was with Ed, it was with Corey, and there was someone else, but honestly, I can't remember exactly who it was. But it's certainly something I would like to do. I'd certainly love to do a dual stream, myself and Megan, for example. Share audio on stream, but, you know, have our own screens on play, but play together. That could be fun. Kieran says, I've been playing the new Pokemon Scarlet. Going to do another playthrough of Witcher 3 when it gets a free next-gen update in a few weeks. See, a Pokemon game is not something I've considered. Certainly could be fun, though. I'd like that. What I'd essentially be looking at is 2 live streams of 2 to 3 hours per week. So one game regular, one game not regular. I might go back to Final Fantasy XIV if I'm completely honest, because I always really enjoyed that game. And that I feel is a game that you can really get behind when it comes to playing with viewers. And then maybe something else. Then on the football side, it would be Football Manager in live streams and watch parties of big European matches. Simon says, do you think the firm is still aligned to MJF? I don't know, I haven't been watching. Hector says, since Ricochet held Braun, what would you think of a Braun Ricochet? But Ricochet will never be able to fill Nicholas's shoes, sadly. That would be very, very sad and very, very disappointing. Until Nicholas eventually gets old enough, which he's actually not far away from now, to debut and go to war. Big reception for Rousey and Shayna. Not the most positive, but certainly big. I wouldn't mind the tag team, though I do feel it would just be Ricochet getting beaten up and then Braun beating everyone up. Though, to be fair, that is what the New Age Outlaws were. Spider-Boss, I'll take your word for it. Mohammed asks, how is your day going? It's been going very well, thank you. I very much appreciate you subscribing, you joining us, and you asking that. I appreciate that. It's been fun. I've been having a nice chill day. I worked until about 5, but I work a very easy, relaxed job as well. Hopefully yours went well too. Justin says, Super Smash Brothers or Fall Guys is probably what you were talking about. It was Fall Guys, yes, but Super Smash Brothers also kind of fits the agenda there. I'm not a FIFA guy, Spider-Boss. I started on Football Manager and immediately gave up on FIFA. Hector says, Tom, have you ever played Among Us? That would be a fun one to play with viewers. I agree. That could be a lot of fun, yes. Among Us is an easy free game as well, isn't it? Easily downloaded, easily played on Steam. And I think there's probably quite a few people who have that. What games do you guys like playing? If you'd like to play on the gaming channel, let me know. See, Simon, I'd be interested in playing Fight Forever depending on how it plays out. I was looking at 2K, but the GM mode isn't quite what I was looking for. Spider-Boss says, can we say Ronda versus Shotzi will be a squash fight? No, we absolutely cannot say that. Though I will say with confidence that Ronda is not at risk of losing. Sean says, do you think Final Fantasy will be like Assassin's Creed in never-ending series? I think you mean the other way around there. You mean the other way around. Traffic says, just seen Dax from FDR tweet him versus Bryan Danielson this Wednesday. Can't wait. Holy crap. Venom says, surprised they're not showing Ciampa diving off the Wargames cage with Adam Cole. No, they're focused more on the wrestlers who are actually going to be involved, which I kind of get. Stuart says, I've been playing Fortnite with the kids. Been having fun so far. Fortnite, I'm not really that for me. I have played Destiny, though. Thomas says, who do you think Shotzi's partner is going to be now? Liv. Liv would be a good shout. Kevin says, gonna be honest, SmackDown delivered better show overall. Welcome, Kevin. How you doing, mate? Lately, SmackDown has been the better show, no question. Spider-Boss says, I remember Eugene just getting beaten up before Regal did all the job. Okay. Kieran says, there's rumours that the AW game is going straight to the Game Pass, so that's a bonus for me. Pretty big downside for me. Shotzi is just getting destroyed by Ronda and Shayna here. Of course, their match is going to be tomorrow, so this sort of does help write it out. Oh, Sean with a very good shout, saying, I say Shotzi's partner is a returning Aaliyah. I certainly don't believe she's far off a return, if off a return at all. Jason says, I have a PS5, Series X and Switch, so I'm down to play whatever. Nice. And Kevin says, a new God of War. Justin says, I hate Minecraft and Among Us. Well, to be fair, if there's enough of us, we can do some rotation. We can play some GTA and stuff like that. Spider-Boss is ready for Io Sky's crazy spot in Wargames. You know there's going to be one. Raquel Rodriguez has decided to be the tag partner after all. This is going to be awkward. Kieran, the issue is that while my PC can handle games, it can't handle games and stream at the same time. That would be difficult for it. So ideally, I need to play on PS4 and then capture it. Can be awkward at times. What I need is a HDMI splitter, but I've been trying to get one of them for a while. I don't think I've actually tried hard enough, I'm not going to lie. Shane has immediately gone for Raquel's arm. We've got another couple of minutes of this match for sure, because after all, draw segment, Ronda Rousey. Spider-Boss is wishing for Alexa to do a heel turn in Wargames. I don't personally see that myself, but stranger things have happened. I am just going to go ahead and get myself a link to Colohue Gaming to put in the chat. There's not much on there yet. I technically launched it, but not to any particularly great fanfare. But it is there. So while you all are watching, I'm just going to go ahead and find it. It is something that I'm planning to put more effort into in the coming years. I'm sure you understand why at the moment there's just not much. There's not too much attention I can put into it because I have a full-time job and this. But I put the link in the chat, so if you would like to check it out, please do so. Ronda Rousey has forced Raquel Rodriguez to tap out. Raquel Rodriguez was, of course, protected by the fact that she took a beating and had her arm hurt before the match even started. You always protect people, and Raquel Rodriguez a bit less protected now than she was. Shotzi, however, didn't have to take the pin, so that's a plus. The Usos are backstage. Jey Uso seems to be sharing his concerns about Sammy. Sean believes Asuka will turn heel over Alexa. Kevin says, what's your favourite Call of Duty game? I've played Medal of Honor. I have not played Call of Duty. I'm not a Call of Duty guy. I tell a lie. I played Zombies. And that's it. Sean says, congrats to Kyrie on becoming the first IWGP Women's Champion. I did not know she'd achieved that one. Congratulations to Kyrie. Lovely. I expect we'll see a lot of her in IWGP in the days to come. After all, they are still very much lending from Stardom at the moment. That's not a bad thing in any way, shape or form, though. Not a bad thing at all. I agree, Medal of Honor was underrated. I don't think we'd have Call of Duty if not for Medal of Honor. At least that's how I see it. So yes, that was the link to Colohue Gaming. Currently 21 people have already popped over. I think all of those came from this channel. You may notice that I have, a few months ago, 7 videos, all live streams of The Last of Us Part 2. I'm currently editing them down and putting them together into a couple of highlight reel videos, which will go live on the channel before I then start playing the next load. But it's down to time at the minute. I'm unfortunately very limited as to when I can do the gaming. So we'll see how it plays out. But if you guys are interested in that, I'm certainly more likely to dedicate quite a bit of time to it. It's just that there was a lot of interest, and then I started and suddenly there wasn't. A few people popped in regularly. Jaden, Sai, Sean, and a few others would pop in, and also Megan for a couple of them. But it's always worth pointing out that I'm not that good at games. So if you want to watch someone fail at games, that's your place. Why did you think that, Simon? See, this is the problem I was talking about. Spider-Boss says, are we getting Becky versus Bayley first or Bianca lose the title at the 2023 Rumble? Good question. Good question. If we get Bianca versus Bayley at the Rumble, I certainly think it's possible that Becky versus Bayley ends up being a championship match at Mania. But who knows what we're going to get, let's be fair. Hector says, I know it's all fun and games, but it does seem a little off-putting what the Bucks and Omega are doing with making fun of Punk since their return due to them being EVPs. Like, they were typical wrestlers, I wouldn't mind, but being a high-level executive, you'd think they act accordingly. It is unprofessional. It is definitely unprofessional, especially while CM Punk is still under contract. But if Tony Khan's okay with it, what can we do? Thomas says, have I missed it? But who has the advantage for the women's Wargames match? That was determined on Raw. Gotta be honest, I'm not sure. Like, I should be. I understand that. I'm not sure. Simon says, hopefully Santos Escobar versus Gunter, something fresh. Escobar versus Gunter would be a good match. Certainly could be. I do think it's more likely to be Ricochet because face versus heel, but it would be new and interesting. Justin says, if you don't mind me asking out of curiosity, why do you need 2 channels? Couldn't you even grow more on this channel? If you stream on this channel, you could then attract wrestling and gaming fans. It's a good question, Justin, and there is a reason for it. The YouTube algorithm works in a certain way, and Kieran's actually put this together pretty succinctly a bit lower. So I'll read what he said and then I'll comment on it. Putting different sorts of content on the same channel can ruin growth a lot of the time, as YouTube doesn't know who to recommend the content to, the channel to, and that is exactly right. At the moment, YouTube is fully aware that every video I post here should be put out to wrestling fans. So the reason I grow is because it knows they will send this video out to 10,000 people, but it'll be 10,000 wrestling fans, meaning that I'll gain a couple of subscribers and a couple of hundred views. Let's say I do a gaming video. It will still send out 10,000 that video to 10,000 people, and it'll send out that gaming video to 10,000 wrestling fans. At that point, not only do gaming fans not receive that content, but wrestling fans then look at it and think, oh, I subscribe to a wrestling channel. Why is there gaming here? I'll unsubscribe. That's why we have the 2 channels. Traffic is showing respect to 007 on the N64. See, here's the thing. I was a perfect dark guy, which I feel is the natural successor to that multiplayer. Spider-Boss suggests GTA 5, which I've played and would love to play online. Spider-Boss says, why has Johnny Gargano been taking the L on Raw lately? Because that is what the storyline demands. You've got to remember, under Triple H, people are going to be taking a lot more losses. Bit of an emotional promo here from Shotzi, not a bad one. Showing respect to Raquel for turning up. She's still a little bit wooden with her promos, Shotzi. It's the cadence mainly. Just the fact that she speaks at the exact same speed no matter what. But there is a lot more emotion than there was. Kevin Owens is on his way down to the ring. I'd imagine he's going to jump onto commentary to watch this match. Venom says, I wish Charlotte would come back and batter Ronda. Oh, only thing that could turn Ronda face. Simon says, when do you think Mickie James actually... I'd imagine that was retires. I think it'll be a little while. She's got a lot more to offer. Spider-Boss says, all of Sasha's crew begins saying she's returning at the Rumble. Yes, and if she doesn't, then all of Sasha's crew will begin to say she'll return at WrestleMania. Megan says, since we're nearing the end of the year, what has been your most unbelievable moment of 2022 that wasn't Vince stepping down? I want to say Cody, to be honest. That was a big moment. But you guys know what it is. You guys know me. You guys know how it plays. It was obviously Shane McMahon in the Royal Rumble. Here comes the money. Or, to be more classical, here cometh the money. Classy. Spider-Boss says Rhea's got the advantage for her team in Wargames. Sean clarifies as well. Damage control. Thank you, guys. Spider-Boss says the Elite making reference to Punk on Dynamite was a little bit petty. Thomas says, do you see any returns at Wargames? I think we've already had one, and it's Becky. Spider-Boss says, what is the best soccer PS game you've ever played? Outside of Football Manager, it would be a FIFA game. Spider-Boss says, currently, who is the best on the mic in the women's division of WWE? Probably Becky at the moment. Alexa's up there, but she hasn't really been talking a lot recently. So probably Becky. Wait, Peter, you have split screens. What's happening there, Peter? What's going on? Bailey says, do you think Triple H will renew Ronda's contract when he runs out? She's stalled out as a performer. Yes, I absolutely think he will. She's in the draw segments for a reason. They are protecting her as best they can. Spider-Boss suggests for his most shocking moment, John Laurinaitis leaving WWE after he yelled at Sasha and Naomi. To be clear, he didn't leave because of that. He left because of, you know, the hush money payments, the NDAs, the affairs, the passing and trading. Fancy Peter showing off. We are in our main event, and I have to ask, are Fox still behind? Because if so, they are in trouble. You're not going to get to see the finish of the show. Unless the plan is to just catch up now. Wow. Thanks for the heads up on that one, Megan. That can't be fun. Hector says, my favourite moment was either Cody or Bray. Because if you told me last year not only one, but both would end up back in WWE, I'd laugh in your face. But here we are. I know, right? See, admittedly, if you're a regular here, you know about these things, Hector. But they're still surprising to see them happen, you know? Megan says they're still on the women's tag match. Peter says, yes, they are a lot behind. Venom says, I don't think we're seeing Roman. We have 20 minutes, mate. Let's not write it off just yet. Though I do think this match is going to go the distance. I'm loving how the second row has a feeling Usi sign. And it's a kid. It's a kid holding it. That's very, very endearing. Spider-Boss says, I think we get a DQ ending in the tag team match. Kind of pointless if we do. I mean, someone gets advantage either way. Spider-Boss, I'm not going to rank every single person by my skills. Also, I did already say who I think it is. I literally mentioned a second name in the question. We are currently at 29 likes and 40 viewers. If you can, please remember to hit that thumbs up. Total views now has reached 1,963 and we've peaked so far at 60. These shows, I've got to say, are getting more and more attended, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for essentially just engaging with the show. You engage with the show, the audience grows. That's what happens. You can literally see it happening every show. So once again, massive thank you. Massive thank you. Simon, Alexa is not Vince's girl. Alexa is Alexa. She's an individual, and she will work with who she works with, and she'll do what she wants to do. Ed, how you doing, mate? Been a little while. Says Fox just went to break, saying that the Advantage match is up next. They will get an overrun because of football put them behind 99%. Do you really want to get in the way of Fox News? Yeah, Justin also saying just got done with Ronda and Baszler versus Shotzi and Raquel. Justin is still behind. Sean says if Tony is fine with the Elite taking shots at CM Punk, can AW board of directors step in and say stop doing it? No. He's in charge. Kevin says I hope Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey deliver a good match, because 5 months Shotzi versus Ronda was not good. I don't think we're going to get 5 months of it, I'll tell you that. Venom says, do you think Apollo is beating Braun Breaker at deadline for the NXT title? No. Hector says, my question for Fox people is if they know a college football match could have any sort of rollover in SmackDown, why not start it on FS1, then transition to Fox after the game is over? It's so odd. Poor planning? And Bailey's there saying Fox didn't expect the game to go long. We're seeing a lot of that right now. We're going to see a lot of it in the World Cup. I say seeing it. Obviously, I'm not seeing it. But it is happening. Spider-Boss says, I hope we see Roxanne versus Mandy soon. Roxanne is a to the mooner. By which I mean they're going to push her to the moon. They are going to push her hard, and they are not going to stop pushing her. I am very excited for the next steps for Roxanne. I do think there is a championship in her future, and I do think it will come when we are ready to see the call-up of Toxic Attraction. Bailey says FS1 has World Cup coverage, so they can't preempt that. Ed says just attend local news, won't be that big a deal. Ah, right, thank you. CBS moved this entire Sunday schedule up to 30 to 45 minutes depending on the NFL game. Oh, interesting. Peter says, what are the 7p again? Oh, 5 months ago. Got it, Kevin. Got it. I did forget about that. Thank you. It says FS1 has terrible reach. They won't put SmackDown on there unless they absolutely have to. And Evan Ernesto Portillo Mays, whatever works for you, has now subscribed on the YouTube side. Thank you kindly for doing so, and welcome to the channel. This is an Ask Me Anything stream. By all means, jump in, ask whatever questions you would like. We are currently, as you may have guessed, watching WWE Smackdown live. We have 15 minutes left and a tag match featuring Sheamus and Drew McIntyre versus the Usos. Simon, while Vince was still very much in power, Alexa was a background player. She was pushed at the beginning of her career. She has not been pushed that heavily since. Essentially since 2018, she hasn't really been pushed at all. Spider-Boss says, Maguire had a good performance against USA. I will take your word for it. Given that it's Thanksgiving, I'm surprised we haven't had a food fight. Maybe that'll happen at Survivor Series. The pumpkins at the ringside sort of made me think of that. There are unfortunately a lot of background players in Triple H's WWE. That is how he works. That's what he pushes. I'm not against it. As I say, a lot of big names will be taking losses, and that's just what happens. A lot of call-ups have been cancelled, Venom. A lot of call-ups have been delayed. And it will screw with what the plans were. It'll take a while for the main roster, and indeed for NXT, to sort of catch up. Braun Breaker, for example, just feels like he's been there forever. It feels like they're wasting time at this point. Hector says, to piggyback on my earlier statement, I really think you'd like the FIFA documentary on Netflix, Tom. Learned a lot I didn't know prior, including not knowing about the infamous 78 World Cup in Argentina. Interesting. And Spider-Boss says, I hope Randy Orton gets well soon. Surgery went well to my knowledge. He is determined to be back. And I've been told that he will be. Certainly, I think it's probably worth checking out, Hector. It's available on Netflix. Why not? Why not? I do have a Netflix. Well, technically, I don't. I have a Disney Plus, and then, you know, we share. Jimmy Uso is currently in the ring with Drew McIntyre. Sean, it wasn't Ronda burying Alexa with the match, but Alexa was told after the match she wouldn't be competing for the top championship for a while. After a couple of head injuries, they moved her into management. She slowly worked her way back, but they take a bit more care of her. And Spider-Boss is missing Charlotte Flair. Imagine saying that a year ago. A lot of people really didn't realise how important Charlotte Flair was to the WWE. One day, and I don't want to see it, but I think I will one day, McIntyre will screw up that kip up. But until then, it is beautifully executed and continues to be. Jey Uso provides a distraction. Of course, that is legal as he's a part of the match. Ridge Holland seems offended. I will say, and I want to point this out, Ridge Holland is about to main event Survivor Series in Wargames. I don't think we're saying enough about that. That is a huge spot and a huge opportunity for him, and a real sign of how different Triple H's WWE is. Bayley, we don't really know what she's interested in at this point. I know she's doing a lot of stuff outside of it, but Alexa Bliss does enjoy being a wrestler. I know they're making a story out of the fact that she doesn't seem that interested at the moment, but this is a passion of hers. She hasn't given up. Spider-Boss, I think fans already desperately appreciate Sasha to the point of neglecting everyone else. Naomi, I feel, is underappreciated. I've also had a thought, and I want opinions on this, because I was thinking about being a bit silly and just having a stream titled Ask Me About Sasha Banks. And what I would do is I would answer your question about Sasha Banks, but I would also then mute you for 5 minutes so you couldn't answer any more. And it would just be a pure engagement show. Just one of those shows where everyone, ask your question, ask your question, ask your question, mute. Ask your question, mute. Ask your question, mute. You know, I'd answer your question, but you get muted. I just think that'd be fun. Bit random, you know, bit random, but could be fun. Ed, I respect that response. I respect that response. Venom says, do you think Roman is dropping the titles at Mania? I think he's dropping a title at Mania. Peter confirms World Cup finals are on SmackDown next week. They have changed the plan. They have changed the plan. Simon, the WWE have not given up on Alexa. What are you talking about? She's about to be in Wargames. She's been part of a tag team with Asuka. She's recently been a tag team champion. She's featured every week. In what way has they given up on Alexa? Like, you have to realise what you're saying, right? Basically, oh, who do I like? Why did WWE hate her? Who do I like? Why did WWE hate him? You have to realise that. Like, you have to realise there's a proper victim complex mentality right now, right? Like, what are you doing? Eric says, Tom, I love Shotzi. I hope she can pull off the miracle. It says, my Fox stream recording is set to go until 10:19, so Fox has planned a 20-minute overrun. Thank you, Ed, for that bit of journalism. Appreciate that. Venom says, it's good to have a break from Charlotte because she's always hogging the belt, but now I just want her to come back. Justin says, I still believe Ronda's injury to Alexa in 2018 really hurt Alexa a ton. It did. It was a pretty serious head injury. They had to protect her pretty heavily afterwards. I feel WWE doesn't trust her that much to give her a top prize, and she's still relevant without being in the title matches. It's not so much about trust, or that is undoubtedly balls. Like, we need to stop and think about what we're saying. Fair enough, Eric, but I hope you got what I was going for there. Essentially, I'll just repeat the the summary, as it were. But Alexa Bliss was hated by the fans at that time. Hated. A lot of people thought she was overpushed. A lot of people thought, because Sasha Banks didn't like her, they had to hate her for that. She got some amazing abuse and people following her around, abusing her at airports. Like, how quickly people forget, you know? Ed quite rightly saying, I won't moderate that stream. No, I would. It would be carnage, and I know it would be carnage, and it's maybe a bad idea, but it would be funny. Eric says, why hasn't she had a WrestleMania moment? Because if everyone had their WrestleMania moment, what would happen? What would happen? When everyone has a WrestleMania moment, it's not special. Kevin says, WWE changed the original plan World Cup tournament because Braun Strowman made that comment 2 weeks ago. Got it in one. Ed says, Survivor Series seems like a more interesting set of matches than Full Gear, but I think the wrestling quality will be higher at Full Gear. Yeah, Wargames is basically just going to be carnage, isn't it? Venom says, now that Triple H is in charge, do you think Charlotte will always be throwing the belt? No, because right now she is not the champion. Ed says, oh Tom, do you want to do the GM mode? I got a new PC that might be able to handle share play. I think at this point we'll wait for the next one, because I don't think that's too far away, and then we'll explore the possibility there, because I'm interested in doing that and I want to do that with you. Correct, Simon. Alexa has not been a world champion for 5 years now. And that's okay. That's okay. They told her she wasn't going to be in and around the top championships. She's instead represented the tag team championships, and she's one of the few people who actually fought for those championships the way that Sasha Banks and Bayley used to. So she's essentially doing what Sasha Banks wanted to do. And you're annoyed at that? I don't think you're annoyed at that. Oh, you mean Sasha, Eric? Again, I don't know. Basically, every time she could have had a moment, they decided someone else was in a better position for her. Venom says, I found the horsewomen are more retaining the titles at Mania than winning them. It's fair. Usually they go in as champions. And Justin says, I still believe Bianca versus Charlotte is coming at Mania. If so, they need to do some big changes. Sean says, according to Ric Flair, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match. He's not. He's absolutely not. And Bayley says, could you see Naomi winning the title in 2023? Nope. Spider-Boss says, could this Sasha situation be compared when fans booed wrestlers that weren't Daniel Bryan in 2014? Yeah. Only it's also up to Sasha Banks whether she comes back or not. She could just accept the current situation and come back tomorrow. All she has to do is say yes. Much like the WWE, all they have to do is say yes. But instead they're negotiating, which is not a bad thing. Spider-Boss says, I didn't like Harry Kane's performance against the USA today. Okay. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Spider-Boss says, what's your favourite Survivor Series? Hard to say, to be honest. There's a lot of them, but I'll be going into detail on that in Nick and Tom's tomorrow. Spider-Boss also says, I can't hear you. Unfortunately, I seem to be having some technical issues on Twitch. If you can, pop over to YouTube. If not, then I imagine it'll come back very shortly. It does happen, unfortunately. I'm having some technical problems. Thank you very much, Jocelyn Davidson, for the subscription on the YouTube side. We do Monday and Friday shows for Spoiler Warning, which is our new shows, the Smackdown Watch Party, which you're watching right now, and we will also be doing the Survivor Series Watch Party tomorrow. Venom says, do you think both heel teams win War Games? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And with 5 minutes to go, my BT Sport has crashed. Which is painful. Traffic says you'll be live tomorrow as well. Yeah, I mean, it's Survivor Series. If the pay-per-view is outside of Saudi Arabia, I will stream it. If it's in Saudi Arabia, no chance. If it's in Qatar, no chance. At one point, I suspect I'm going to get angry at the UK being involved as well. After all, we sell weapons that kill people in their thousands. Yeah, this isn't going to work now. Another reason I want a PS4, by the way, I just don't want to have to deal with this keep crashing. Bailey says 38 on YouTube is a good number for this watch party. Yes, it is. We peaked at 60. We peaked at 60 so far, which is a very, very good place to be. We've had 2,502 views. 2,502. Yeah, pretty good place to be. You're absolutely right, Bailey. The watch parties lately have been absolutely soaring. We're getting a lot of attention. So we'll see how it goes with Survivor Series tomorrow as well. Whatever's going on the screen, unfortunately, I can't tell you. I can't see SmackDown right now because BT's decided, you know what? No. It's just decided no, which is, you know, everything I want. Let me get the app up on my phone just as an emergency backup. No, I don't want to update it. Yes, I want to watch SmackDown. No. Yes, I want to watch live. You have too many live streams running at the same time. No, I don't. I strongly suspect my account has been hacked at some point. I don't like that, naturally. Oh, ringside carnage. What's not to like? Sean, I work from home, but I do have an office I can go into as well if I'd like to. I don't. I absolutely do not. Jesus Christ. They're advising me to go to their help pages and try and work out why I've got... Oh, enter an error code. I don't have an error code. Ugh. Let me try that again. Why are you now updating? Jesus Christ. Why does nothing work? Even in the future, nothing works. Simon, in no way have they forgotten about everyone else. Have you seen Gunter? Seen Ronda? Seen Bray? Braun? Becky? Bianca? Bailey? Alexa? Any of them? You remember any of them? They're definitely there. Are we working? We're finally working. Okay. Just in time for the bug. It's over. I literally just saw Sami Zayn and that was it. Wonderful. Thankfully, I'm not going to have that problem tomorrow because tomorrow we'll be on the WWE Network, which is so much better. So much better. Hello, Darnell. How you doing? How you doing? No, Eric, you're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. BT Sport continues to be the single greatest thorn in my side. It just chose a really awkward moment there, but it's been a stream of all over the place, hasn't it? If you're on Twitch, you may notice that there are count them, 4 different videos covering this one stream. 4 different videos. Thank you, Justin, for clarification that the faces won the match. Means they will get advantage. Makes sense. It means that when Roman enters, that'll probably be the big finale, as it were. He'll be the last one in. That was just a frustrating finish. Very frustrating. We will be live tomorrow for Survivor Series in its entirety, starting with the pre-show. In the meantime, though, as disappointed as I am that things went a little bit wrong there, I still had a very, very good time. 2,612 views. A peak of 60 viewers. 35 likes. 5 new members. And a donation as well. A good day. A good day. In the meantime, though, thanks everyone for your time and for your effort. I always appreciate how so many of you jump in, help out and support, and I'm so grateful to have all of you here. I will see you all tomorrow. I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.